Game number 1. We are in the losers bracket, the lower bracket of the HeroesHype Premier Series Playoffs. And it's Towers of Doom between Washed Up and Team Russia. Okay, should be a good one. The winner of this goes up to the loser bracket final, where we already have one team waiting. And it is going to be a potential rematch even, depending on who advances here. So it's actually going to be a pretty interesting series to observe now. We have Towers of Doom with Alarak banned out against Mena immediately. But yeah, this should be an interesting series to say the least. This is like the new Team Russia, which is more so Team France than anything. It's really weird for me because I read Team Russia and I always want to call them the Russians, and I look over to the lineup and I'm like, wait a second. That's pretty much just mostly French players over there. So on Towers of Doom, we see the ban against Abathur right now. And, well, with that, completely different bans than what we had previously in the winner bracket final, for example. Different teams, different preferences. And here on Towers, I mean, obviously, first of all, you're banning out Mena's Alarak, but there's so much more that could now be picked up here. We have a fantastic team for Washed Up. This is the lineup that they used in the HeroesHype Premier Series most of the time. Nick playing an amazing tank these days. It's honestly mind-blowing considering that he was an assassin for Method during the entire time in HGC. Then we have Chris currently playing on this Pepica account. Banana H is in there as well. And they got sent into the winner bracket, into the loser bracket by Team Cheese, the former Wind and Rain, who massively stepped it up. But obviously they're trying for a winner bracket run into the grand final now. We're having Chen as the first pick. Actually, by Dequaza right now, I would still expect Stark to shift over into the hero if they have a chance for that. That's usually his preference pick, but we'll find out. Nick on Garrosh, and honestly, Nick played Garrosh a couple of times against other teams, and after he just destroyed them single-handedly, some teams just went over and just said, okay, we're going to ban Garrosh against them every single game. That's exactly what happened in some of the series, where teams just said, like, yes, not happening. Just not happening. And Hanzo together with that. So we still have a double pick now available for Team Russia, and that's actually ETC. Alright, ETC Chen gets being played here, and Jaina together with that. Okay, fair enough. They haven't gone into a support yet. I would expect that Tirana gets either picked or banned out by Washed Up, because if you have an ETC power slide into a Tyrande stun plus Jaina damage, that's kind of a lot of work. So you normally want to dodge that if you can. And we'll see if they try to make sure that that particular play isn't happening, yeah? Greymane gets banned instead. Also, fantastic hero, obviously, and can take down structures pretty easily as well. But yeah, let's see what else we're having now. Right, the last ban from Team Russia. Not a single support has been banned out, which is interesting coming from a series where supports are heavily focused in the bans. But yeah, in this case, you could still ban out Mena if they want to. And there's the Tyrande ban, okay, so they don't want to allow for the Garrosh into Tyrande stun. Chris has been playing a ton of... Like, it's actually weird, because they're shifting so many roles sometimes. You have Hazo on the offlane occasionally. Most of the times, it's Chris for them. He plays his very, very own style with a couple of talent adjustments that we usually don't see on the higher level of play here. More of a Storm League approach that he has with some of the talents that he picks for heroes like Thrall, but also what we've seen him take again on Leo. And Leo is a hero that he could still play here. False that actually gets taken, and we have Malfurion for Banana Age. So a pretty cool setup with Global on the side of Washed Up now, as he can play with the bird. Very likely going to be a wingman build again. And, well, let's have a look of what the Team Russia combo is going to be. Because we're still looking for support for them. Again, Rega is obviously open, but X-Ray goes into Ana, and wow, we're getting Genji with this. Okay, time for Genji to shine. Last pick now for Chris, what we're going to see from him. We still need the offlane, obviously. Leo has been one of his preferred picks here. Seen occasionally also Thrall. There was also a Battlefield of Eternity setup, but there it is. The Space Lord is in action again. Towers of Doom, best of 3 series, and we are heading into our first map of that best of 3. Washed Up, going up against Team Russia. Game number 1 in the best of 3 series. Washed Up against Team Russia. Hazo ops on Falstad, Hazo on the bird. Banana H on Malfurion. We have Nick on Garrosh, Mena on Hanzo, and Chris is playing Leoric. And over to the right side of the map, Dequaza is playing Chen. We're currently having X-Ray on Ana, Masquerade on Genji, Stalk on ETC, Tobos on Jaina to round things up here. The first map in the best of 3, and the last time that we've actually seen in the winner bracket Team Russia with a new lineup, more so Team France right now, honestly. It's actually a little bit weird because there's a bit of synergy that has been missing. That was just the yesterday games that they played, but there's definitely, of course, the chance that they're stepping it up now. But it's going to be tricky against for them. Because honestly, washed up to see them in the lower bracket is insane. It's honestly insane. They've won the last 3 qualification tournaments for the HeroesHype Premier Series against Granite Gaming in the grand final. And they were one of the teams that was expected to at least go to the winner bracket final, if not make it to the grand final directly and then fight for a tournament victory. But instead they got eliminated from the winner bracket in the first round of the tournament by Team Cheese, the former Wind and Rain. It was honestly crazy. And it's so weird to see them in the lower bracket right now. So they obviously want to go for a loser's bracket run here, and it's going to be a tall order for Team Russia, especially with their newly changed lineup, to take them down here. Now, it's definitely not out of the question that the Russian team or that Team Russia can pull that off. But it is going to be definitely tricky. They will have to step it up massively, and they will have to make sure that they're not giving any openings to washed up. So we'll see how this is going to work out for them. But washed up is entering this series as the favorite. And then again, that was also the case when they went up against Team Cheese, and we all know how that ended. So that was in a fantastic series. And again, if you're catching this video right now on YouTube and you actually haven't seen the match between Washed Up and Team Cheese yet, then damn, you got some video watching to do, because you need to check that out. And you also have to have a look again for Granite Gaming against Team Cheese. Honestly, all of the Team Cheese games so far in this tournament have been insane. They have been absolutely insane. And if you haven't watched them live, make sure that you catch the VOD, because these games were crazy. And if you watch this on YouTube and you've liked the coverage so far, make sure that you give the video a thumbs up and help promote the channel a little bit. The first kill in the game goes to Washed Up. They take Ana down. Ana eliminated here. And by now we're also having level 4 talents on both sides. It's obviously time for the triple altar to make an appearance. But now the main question is also for me personally how the bird is going to pan out. It's always fun for me to see HeroesHype on Falstad. HeroesHype has, from the beginning of Heroes of the Storm in 2014, 2015, played a lot of Falstad, and I can still remember the days when Blackheart's Bay, absolute atrocious map for competitive, but back then only one of 3 or 4 maps still in the map pool, was played regularly in competitive Heroes of the Storm. And HeroesHype was actually one of the first ones that really played Falstad with a Mighty Gust and developed strategies on the map where he just denied fights to the opponent all game long, and they played around the opponent there. These days it's one of the reasons why nobody really wants to play on the battlefield, on Blackheart's Bay, and the map isn't really played anymore in competitive. But back then it was a completely novel idea, and he was one of the first ones to actually go into the increased barrel roll on level 4 with his hero, so that he can get a better angle during a team fight for the Mighty Gust, which was incredibly effective back then. Doesn't really see as much play anymore these days, because heroes and priorities have obviously shifted, but it's just so nostalgic to actually see him on that hero. In this case, it's more so the traditional wingman build that we're seeing. Boomerang should now come in on level 7 for him, and that's exactly the case. Any build that you go for, Boomerang has to be the weapon of choice. Level 7, honestly, it is a must-have talent. If you're not picking Boomerang on level 7, you're doing it wrong. I don't care what kind of justification you have, but I want to go for an auto attack build. Oh, but I want to go this, I want to do that. If you don't pick Boomerang on level 7, you're doing it wrong, period. So, for now we're having Hammer against Taken on level 4. There's a kill against Garrosh in the middle of the map, so the Russian team, the red team, is fighting back right now and doing a bit of work here. So far so good with that. We're still having the attempt to actually steal that cap away. I mean, they might be overstepping slightly. There's the rotation in, and the Panda isn't there yet, and death timers are low, so Garrosh soon gonna be back, but they are stealing it out. Stalk slides in, pushes them out. The kill against the Ana support though. But the bird is down as well. Alrighty. The Panda wants some chicken, jumps in and takes him down immediately. Nicely done. So yeah, with that, we're now having currently 2 kills against 3. Still in favor of Washed Up. They also got, of course, the double altar, as you've seen previously, with a double channel that they were able to pull off here. Falster can always fly in. Banana Age is already at the bottom of the map as the 2 teams are fighting for the next altar right here. And let's see how that's going to work out for them. There's the channel, and Masquerade with the interrupt. Close call by him, but he's able to pull it off. Obviously, we're having now Chris on Leoric, also starting to rotate in as well. Trying to fight for this one too, and putting his pedal to the metal here to arrive in time to have an impact on the team fight. There's ETC sliding in again, creating a little bit of space as X-Ray is pew-pewing away on Ana. Trying to keep Jaina alive, but Tobos goes down. And that might not be the only one. Genji is able to move out. Hazu was trying to follow and get the kill, but can't confirm a second kill against the red team. They're still able to get the altar channeled, and that's another 4 shots fired against the red team's core. 36 against 28 points right now. And obviously, since it's a 5 versus 4 on the map, they have an opportunity to take the pumpkin cam away, which is what they're doing immediately. And they can't even get a bit more there. If Nick can get the control, does. One stun. Can they get more? Nah, not quite. In this case, it seems like Banana Age wasn't really able to get another root onto the ground. I always picture like Malfurion as that old guy whenever he drops the lawn right there. Get off my lawn! Kids these days. Oh. I mean, he has arthritis already, so definitely not really the fittest hero of the Storm, but the oldster is sometimes still able to make a couple of plays here. Also, the talents really synergize quite well with the picture that I was just trying to paint, because let's face it, if you're going for a Twilight Dream, it's pretty much just Malfurion ranting against the neighbors that are playing their music too loud and just yelling at them to be silent, and yeah, usually pulls it off, so a good silence is already worth it. But either way, 11 against 10, 4 kills against 2. And so far, nice control in the early game by Washed Up. But Team Russia is fighting back. I mean, that's definitely true. I was a bit afraid that we would see a complete stomp there, but Team Russia is actually now with really good lineups in a position where they can fight back for this, for sure. First of all, you're seeing ETC with the stage dive, so he has the global. Falstad might be at some point forced to deal with that a little bit. I'm just worried about the combos that we're seeing from Washed Up. Oh, there's actually a potential kill against Leo in the mid lane. At least a bit of damage. But keep in mind that we're having also the Hanzo arrow. We have in the tombs. There's a lot of tools that can be used in this setup. Alta is already about to spawn as they're trying to rotate down to the bottom of the map. And here comes the channel as Stork is trying to catch this one. There's the Entomb against Tobos. Jaina in a bit of trouble and gets the nano boost. Ring of Frost doesn't connect with anything as everybody moved away. So that's a lot of heroics already burned right here. The bird still sitting in the middle, could at any point fly in and of course try and get the gust there. And the double channel is successful. They get the shots fired. Nicely done. Might not have been able to get the kill or the connect with the Ring of Frost, but they're able to get the objective. And that's all that mattered here. So we have now 32 against 28 points on the core, 12 against 11. And the Team Russia starting to do quite a bit here. Yeah, it's not too bad. 70 stacks for Genji on the level 4, so he's going to have his Shuriken talent completed in just a second. We're also seeing 17 for the proc rock. That's already great. Jaina's working on the damage to get the ice block, obviously. So the quest talents are slowly coming in for them, and Team Russia is playing this a little bit slower than expected, but definitely paying attention to this. And after the initial kill, it's not really too intimidated. They get the camp just before level 13 drops into their hands for Washed Up, so they are not having a problem with the additional talent for their opponent here. And let's see what else we are going to get. Chen in those team fights can now also start to be really aggressive against the backline. Malfurion and Falstad plus Hanzo are really threatened whenever the triple panda comes through, because that ult is just insanity. It's such a strong ult for the panda, it's honestly crazy. Even after Blizzard in the last patch said, hey, we need to actually buff the barrel a little bit, it's just simply panda time all the time. You want to go for the triple pandas. There were a couple of teams that actually tried to play with the barrel, for example, but after just 1 or 2 games, everybody immediately went back into Storm, Earth, and Fire and said like, alright, dumb idea. Barrel might look a little bit better now with the cooldown reduction and the extra armor that you gain, but there is just absolutely no way that the talent is even holding a candle to the triple panda. So that action is definitely coming through for them. At this point, just an even exchange, as you can tell, between the two altars. So there's nothing major happening. It's normally the case that you're getting the even exchange with altar against altar. But Hazu goes down at the top, and Masquerade is jumping down. The bird is oftentimes having trouble against Genji, so that last pick that we see here for Team Russia is starting to get some value for Team Russia, because they can threaten Azovs the entire time. And Falstad is more so on the squishy end, and that's exactly what gets proven here. So nice attack by Genji, and now they have a chance to go for this. Oh, I love that move. Nice entomb by Chris. That was a great entomb there. Well, Ring of Frost, actually. ETC goes down too. Here comes the triple pandas. They're jumping on Malfurion, and they get the kill. Yeah, there's the power of the panda right there. They're trying to get the kill against Masquerade. There's the arrow as well. Can you get away? Yeah, they can for now. So it's a kill for kill as Malfurion and ETC both fall. But I gotta say, the camp was still taken by Washed Up, and that was actually an entomb. It was a crazy good entomb. Chris's intent, they knew that the rotation was coming after Falstad was eliminated, so Chris's idea was not to actually trap someone. He was just attempting to zone them out so they couldn't go for the for the camp. And Masquerade tried to Swift Strike in and still contested, but thanks to Chris's quick reaction, they were able to get the Pumpkin camp. There's still a trade in kills, so now we have 5 against 4, and it's a triple altar phase again. Triple altar on the map, and now the big question, who takes the double at this point? 16 is so close for Washed Up. If they get that, that would be the dream right now. It would more or less guarantee them 2 altars out of the 3 that are spawning now. And they should be able to get that set up now. Yeah, at this point, the only thing that Team Russia can do is try and hope for the top right to be channeled. And that's where we're seeing Chen right now. So yeah, he's going to channel that through. Malfurion is already active at the bottom of the map. Top left, Leo is in. And there's again the double shots fired. Boom! And that brings them farther ahead with 16 against 24 points. It's still quite closer than I thought, but we're now having 16 talents, which gives us for Falstad also Flow Rider and Airy Gust, so the synergy to drop a few more of those hammers, and also Lightning Rods is definitely in play. Great also for the Boomerang. Chris not going into his traditional build with the Mithril Mace and him going more into an auto attack setup. Instead we're seeing the standard style with the Ominous Wraith and Royal Focus. Hazob's dead again. Masquerade is just murdering this, seriously. Oh, nearly the setup here. Shayna with a nano boost. They're trying to go for Chris. And that should be a kill against Leo. They should be able to get Leo here. And they do get Leo. Nicely done. But they couldn't get anybody else. So 2 heroes. And that's the lead in kills now. So they get 2 heroes with this. But I gotta say, Masquerade on Genji is really, really annoying the birdie. Ah, they get another kill, aren't they? Nick low, Nick down. Staggered death even. And all of a sudden, Team Russia is gaining momentum on the map. I mean, holy moly, what's happening here? 7 kills against 5, and they want the bell tower at the bottom of the map now too. Things are starting to become difficult for Washed Up. I don't think they expected that. Game was going quite well for them. Not perfect, but it was pretty okay. And now all of a sudden they're losing hero after hero, and that means they're losing the bell tower. They're losing the momentum on in the map. And pretty easily too. Great kills that we saw there, and the bird has died 3 times. And mostly because Genji just hunted him down time after time again. Double altar now spawning, and if both of them are taken, then all of a sudden Team Russia would take the lead also in bell tower points. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see here. I mean, Falstad has to deal with the bottom of the map as the pumpkins are pushing in. Jaina's moving down to the lower altar to get that. There's a zone out over here. X-Ray, is he going to be able to get it? No, there's the Entomb, but there's no damage follow-up, or is there? Nope, arrow gets blocked. Mena was trying to hit it, but couldn't get it in against Ana. Falstad is flying in. Bottom was already channeled. 19 against 16 points on the core. Again, the nano boost on Tobos as he's trying to get the damage out. It's a 5 versus 5. And now Washed Up needs to really put in the pain. They need to try and win something here. Quasar with the triple panda. Again, looking for a target. Sees Mena. Goes for Mena. Ring of Frost. And the kill as Masquerade X strikes it again. Masquerade just murdering it on Genji right now. Seriously. He's really bringing the pain here. And they're going for another kill against Nick, and he gets that one too. Malfurion is caught at the bottom of the map as the channel is happening, and now we have 10 kills against 5 any second. Another 5 shots get fired, and what is happening with Washed Up? 14 against 16! Washed Up got absolutely crapped on in the last 2 minutes of this game. And Team Russia is all of a sudden massively ahead. They've taken the lead in experience, they've taken the lead on the objective, on the core points, and they've taken the lead also in bell towers. They have 5 against 3 right now. This is actually starting to become a little bit insane. Washed Up came into this tournament as the absolute favorite. It was more or less assumed that we would see a grand final with Granite Gaming against Washed Up, and that the two of them would fight it out there. And then Washed Up loses to Team Cheese, who have stepped it up completely. And now here in the lower bracket, everybody expected Washed Up to go for a pretty crazy run. But they are struggling here. Another 4 shots fired, and that drops the core down to 10 points already. And that's not even the worst thing. They're regaining the control of the bot lane. That's definitely worth a lot. The problem is level 19 against 18. Level 20 is going to be there soon. And I gotta say, considering that Masquerade has actually been playing the main tank position for his previous team continuously, his Genji is pretty solid. I mean, damn son, he is really just murdering it. That bird doesn't have a chance. And then he goes for Hanzo as well and drops Nena. That was pretty incredible. Genji is still sitting there. I mean, we can take a look at the damage output too. Genji is sitting at 40,000. Which is pretty amazing for him. Bottom of the map, there's another push happening now. Obviously, Washed Up is playing a bit more aggressive at this point because they want to exploit the fact that there's still even talent fights possible. Maybe Chris can drop a nice Entomb that forces a battle. If they get the 20, that would of course be fantastic for them as well. But there we go. Nano boost again on Jaina. Ring of Frost come out. Connects with 1. ETC dead. Oh, but Chris falls as well. Ana is still alive, and here come the pandas. It is panda time, baby. And Hazops immediately with the get the fuck out of my fight move. Drops the quick gust and makes sure that the pandas don't get any value. Yeah. Also, Garrosh has fallen again. Nick is down. Fight still over here up to the top. But I gotta say, Dequaza needs to activate the ult a little bit later. Ana's still dying. Hanzo gets the kill in. Dequaza with 100 HP as he moves away. Still a fight for the bottom. It's not over yet. Oh, the ice block. Wow. Turbo's able to survive the boomerang. But 20 is now on the board. The problem is that we're having Washed Up nearly getting 20 as well. And Washed Up gets the channel. Alright, 4 shots fired. Now they are starting to close the gap a little bit. Boom. 10 against 12. And they should be able to get level 20. But this game is way closer than I expected it to be. I mean, seriously. There's the Entomb, the Buried Alive even. And they get the kill against Jaina. And all of a sudden, we're talking Bell Tower. ETC comes in, jumps into the root. And again, the Wind Tunnel. These mighty gust plays from Hazops are really starting to win them a lot here. Especially the previous one against the Pandas pretty much ruined the entire ult of Dequaza. If Dequaza wants to get value out of the Storm Earth and Fire, he needs to activate it a little bit later than he does. Yeah, Leo activating his trade again. Goes down here and ghosts around. Nick is already trying to go in from the side here, but they're anchoring the play for the Pumpkins in order to take this Bell Tower and finally get some momentum on the map. And now with 8 kills against 13, this is still absolutely open. I mean, we are talking 12 points on the core against 10. So it is really, really close. Leo is nearly back, and he has the Buried Alive again already. Pandas are coming in, and that's the dangerous part right now. There's no gust for Falset at this point. Hazops is trying to run, and Genji wants the kill, but the save from Banana Age. Hanzo, on the other hand, is down. Hanzo dead. Chris comes back a little bit too late. Drops the Buried Alive. Good silence from him, but it's not enough to turn the fight around. Not happening. Jaina is also now appearing and is starting to rejoin the battle. It was a 4 versus 4 up to the point where Leo respawned. And Hanzo obviously died. Bell Tower's activating in 10. And we at least have a Bell Tower advantage for Washed Up, but they are now 1 hero short in the game. Hanzo isn't there. The fight at the bottom of the map is still happening. Jaina is moving in from the top right now. Turbos wants the action, gets some damage in. They're going for Hazops again. Moves out, but the Bell Tower's up. And it's a double Bell Tower right now. It's a double Bell Tower at this point. Honestly, if Washed Up gets both, they're dropping Team Russia down to 2 points on the core, but that's obviously unlikely to happen. 3 shots already fired as we have the first one connected. Hanzo is still not there, and now we have 7 points against 12, and they're trying to get another one. They have the numeric advantage. Chris is moving into the back line with Leo, trying to set it up right now, trying to see if he can get another kill here. In comes the poke. Hanzo soon going to be back again. Wind Tunnel to buy a little bit more time. And there's the stage dive. Trying to go for Nick again. Arrow! Oh, long distance from Mane. And he appears just in time to force the fight here. 5 versus 5 all of a sudden. Talking about a 5 versus 5 setup at this point. About the last bell tower. And guys, if this one gets claimed by Washed Up, then it's actually dead even on the core points. If they are able to get the altar and drop the 5 points off the opponent's core, we're talking 7 against 7. Chris is low though. Panda's moving in again. Triple Panda, baby. And here comes the Ring of Frost. And that murders Malfurion. And then Chris is about to fall too. X-Ray is still alive with 100 HP. And nobody is close to be able to get him. They're trying to make a play for Hazops now as well. Mane is also still isolated. Ana is already on the channel. That's the end of Falstad. And they're going for Mane. And we are having another 3 shots fired. 3 shots fired. Play for Nick. And it's 4 points on the core against 12. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Washed Up is struggling so hard here. 68,000 damage by now from Genji. And we have a boss on the map. And there's 40 seconds on the bird. Guys, this could be the end of it right now. This has to be the end of it. The arrow comes. Long distance. Connects. Definitely a European arrow that just got fired. But is that going to change anything? I don't really think so. Do you? It's a 5 versus 3. What are you going to do with this? They're trying to make the play here. They try to go for Ana. He's getting some damage in. Ana might fall. The problem is they're still going to get the points, aren't they? Ana down. Leo is dead as well. And Garrosh dies. And that's 4 shots fired. And that is the end of game number 1 as Team Russia takes the victory in the first map of the best of 3 series against Washed Up. GG and well played. Game number 2, everybody. Washed Up is down in the series against Team Russia. Pretty insane, honestly. Team Russia, a newly formed team. It's not the old Team Russia where we had mainly Russians. Right now we're talking about mainly French players. This is one of the cases where I would not mind if they would rename the team a little bit, because I'm always falling back in the routine that I call them the Russians, and I remember, well, actually, there's only one Russian player on the team right now. So we have HeroesHype as the second map, and it is the map choice of Team Russia, as we actually have Washed Up going into first pick, first ban. And the first thing that they do is ban out Chen. Apparently learned their lesson a little bit. They were pretty much taken apart by Chen and by Genji in the last set here, but it's insane. Washed Up by many was expected to make an easy run through the winner bracket, face off against Granite Gaming maybe in the winner bracket final, and then potentially move on straight to the grand final. And now we're having them fighting for their life in the tournament itself. Honestly, if you would have bet against, like, I don't think there was anyone that would actually have bet for them to be in a spot where one more map would just disqualify them from the tournament here, or limit them. It's insane. Abathur gets banned out now too. Cursed Hollow, obviously, a big hero for the map. Question would still be, are the Vikings banned at any point? Because Washed Up has, obviously, with Hazops, a Vikings player in their midst. It's more priority now against Mane. They don't want him on Alarak, so that's a big one for sure. But yeah, let's see what Washed Up is going to play right now. Because honestly, are you risking it, even though it is a staple hero for you, to go Vikings on Cursed Hollow when you're 1 map down already? Or do you more rely on a standard style and just believe that your mechanics and your coordination puts you ahead of your opponent? Which I honestly think is probably the better approach here. But on the other hand, I would be really happy about Vikings. I love Vikings. Hazops Vikings in particular are always awesome. So that would be pretty sick as well. Washed Up right now against Team Russia. And I mean, the Russians, or Team Russia, is in a position where they are probably just sitting there as like, boys, 1 more map and we make it into the loser bracket final. And there's Stalk on Tyrael and Malfurion taken immediately. And again, Tyrael is fantastic on the map. He has a lot of synergies with a lot of the heroes that are great in the meta right now. You can play Tracer, you can play Greymane, you can play Illidan if you really want to go into him. There's so much that you can do here. And in addition to that, you're talking about a sanctification in those 2 boss areas, which is always a huge win if you can actually do that. So now we have the double pick for Washed Up. And there's a lot of pressure on them right now. We have Vala and we have ETC. Okay, so we're actually going to see Chris's Vala and we have ETC together with that. Still the option to go into a double support at this point, if they want to. And on top of that, ETC is already a great pick with Vala. It was actually a combo of old. People talk a lot about like, hey, double support with Vala is actually awesome. But ETC is a great tank for her because he can create easily space with a face melt and can make sure whenever there is a coordinated effort against Vala that he buys a little bit of time for her to just get out of harm's way. Zeratul gets banned. Not sure if Mene would have gone into that. Mene could play Tacita. Has played Tacita a couple of times. Oftentimes what we're seeing from him is actually Force Ball over Archon if he ends up in that situation. And, well, let's see what else we're gonna get. Tracer gets banned out. As I said, Tyrael combos off with Tracer too, and we have seen several Tracer plays from Team Russia in the past. But now the bigger question, what is their setup? I would like Greymane here, honestly. I think Greymane might be great for them if they play that correctly now. Would also be good for taking the bosses, of course. Dehaka and Jimmy are taken, though. Okay, so they're gonna play on the big map with a global, putting more of a focus onto the macro game here. And what else do we have? Double support or no double support? That's the big question at this point. I don't think that Vikings are going to be played, even though you can play Vikings and then just have a strong 4-man. That's obviously one of the main Viking ideas. But I don't think that they would go that far. I'm just waiting for the second support to be dropped. And they don't. They go into Rexa and they pick Falstad. Okay, solo support, but with ETC for Vala. Still Falstad being played. Mene this time. Masquerade is currently on Reyna. His Genji in the last game honestly just annihilated Falstad. I mean, the bird was just running away the entire time. But now there's a chance that the bird gets a bit more value. And obviously they want to have something on the global side. They could go into the stage stuff with ETC, but they don't do that now. And Tobos on Liming. Played Jaina in game number 1. Now we're having in game number 2 with Liming. And guys, let's go into the second game. Cursed Hollow. Let's find out if Team Russia can take down Washed Up with a 2-0. Or if Washed Up forces game number 3 in the series here in the loser bracket of the HeroesHype Premier Series Playoffs. Game number 2, everybody. Washed Up with Hazorps on Rexa, Nick on ETC, Chris on Vala with the arrow build. We have Mane on Falstad and Banana Age on Tyrande. On the other side, though, Team Russia with X-Ray on Malfurion, Masquerade on Jimmy, Dequaza on Dehaka, Tobos on Liming, and Stork is playing Tyrael here. Chris already going into the Monster Hunter. Again, you can still play a hybrid style with the arrow. If you go into the Hot Pursuit on level 1, you can still play arrow style, but you obviously then are focusing a bit more on the team fights and not so much on what you can achieve against the camps. And some mercenary camps here. With the Monster Hunter setup, you are pretty quick on the boss on the other hand, so you can burn that down quickly. And that's obviously another added advantage that we're having with this. They're trying to set a 3-man up at the top lane, not even going for the little fight in the middle, and trying to burn one of the towers down, usually to half HP, and then moving away from it. So easy setup right there. Also, veteran marksman on the side of Team Russia, so working on the stacks again. Masquerade trying to get every single shot connected with the hero so that he can stack that. Again, it is a little bit tricky because you need 60 stacks in order to draw even with the damage output that you get from Ace in the hole if it procs on a slow. They don't really have Jaina in the setup, there's no Blaze, so it's a little bit limited when it comes to the slows, one of the reasons why we're seeing the veteran marksman. But it's always a tough talent to take because you really need to stack and you're hoping for the late game to reach at some point. Orexa obviously also a big factor in this game, and Washed Up they have to finally show that they are able to make that lower bracket run, because currently Team Russia is the one dominating this. And honestly, in the early game, Team Russia didn't really look all that great on Towers of Doom. They really had problems. It was later on when they all of a sudden started to absolutely murder it and gain insane momentum in these team fights. We have also a bit of an advantage for them when it comes to the first objective, since it's going to spawn topside, which means that they are going for the Bruiser camp now, give it priority over the Siege Giants. So you see that on the other side. Siege Giants have been taken by the blue team because they don't need to delay it, but the Bruiser camp has been taken by Team Russia. And one of the main reasons is that they are trying to hold back their Siege Giant camp for later in the game when the objective spawns, so that the Siege Giant camp pushes through the bot lane while everybody is trying to rotate towards the top to go for the tribute. So that's one of the ways how you can force your opponent to split their attention on the two sides of the map, and it's pretty much what we would expect there now too. Behemoth armor, after we've seen the veteran marksman, so very heavily going into the stacks here, and yeah, that's going to be a tall order for Jimmy, but let's see how much Masquerade can do with that. He might be able to just get enough stacks together to make a big difference here, especially in the later stage of the game. 8 and 3 already, so not really too bad. Small difference between the two. Chris is also attempting to get some stacks for his level 4 ability. He wants, of course, the extra bounce and an additional 75 bonus damage. It's a huge talent to complete from Vala, and that's what he's going to aim for. Now that the tribute is announced, you're seeing exactly what I've been talking about earlier, the rotation down to the bottom of the map to make sure that they're getting access to the siege giants. And then Falstad very likely is going to make the rotation towards the bottom of the map to defend the lane, and then Iquaza can move towards the top whenever need be. So that's traditionally the setup that we're seeing here. And as I said, Falstad is rotating. He is moving down to the bottom of the map, as both of the teams are making the play for the top. But it looks like the blue team, nah, not getting it yet. Stark moved in and interrupted. And there's another one immediately as he actually starts to jump in. Misha's already there. Bot lane, that's where we have the pressure, as mentioned previously. So the siege giants are now coming in. The Quasar is just sitting in the bush. And we're seeing Masquerade starting to get additional stacks in right now. Yeah, sitting at 11 stacks and 6. So doing fairly well here, considering the early stages of the game. Mark had an insane game on Infernal Shrines earlier in a different series, where he was able to get massive damage out with Jimmy. And now Masquerade is going to try and do the exact same thing. Level 7 quicker though, 4 washed up. Looking good with this. Having now the repeating arrow, so Chris has an easier time stacking. We're seeing False and Dehaka still down at the bottom of the map. And again, the boomerang. Mane going for the same build as previously Hazo Ops, and here comes the attack. Chris coming in from the top, trying to get some damage in. Masquerade with continuous stacks and hits here. He's also able to stack, of course, a bit more against Nisha. Those hits count as well. And X-Ray might be able to get this one. Falstad hasn't flown in yet. They can't get the interrupt, and there's the first tribute. Stark in trouble though, and gets away with 20 HP. Not bad. Good job by Team Russia. Calculated, obviously. Stark proving that he's a real rocket scientist. Calculated that one through and was just like, with the direction that the wind is blowing right now, I don't think that shot is going to hit me. And yeah, told Malfuri immediately, don't worry about me, dude. I'm fine. I'm gonna have 20 hit points exactly, so we're good here. But yeah, so now the next tribute spawns at the bottom of the map, and that's a slightly advantageous situation for Washed Up. A little bit closer to home for them. And the bird is already going in as Mena is using the wingman to get a camp pushing for them through the middle of the map. Level 9 nearly accomplished for Washed Up. 0 kills, by the way, in this game up to this point. We're only 5 minutes in, but yeah, no kill yet. We're also seeing Masquerade with a surprisingly high amount of stacks, considering that we're 5 minutes into this. And let's see how much he can get through that team fight here. Went into the unstable compound on level 7, now that doesn't surprise. We have still up to the top the 2 globals, as you would expect. This time the situation is reversed. It's actually Falstad trying to save those siege giants and escort them in. And Banana Age gets interrupted again. This time Stark is in trouble, and in a lot of it at that, but is able to survive again, but no chance to interrupt Banana Age. So it's an even trade in tributes for now. 1 against 1. Top side pressure still there as Mena is attempting to take the fort down. We're having also Washed Up nearly on level 10. Ooh, Malfurion actually died at the bottom of the map. Alright. That old geezer gets down. Red Goal gets thrown around there, as we have level 10 abilities for them now. An attempt by Mena as Quasar was trying to connect the Drax so that Tobos can aim straight in with the combo. That wasn't the case here yet. But there's the boss attempt. Immediately taken after that. We're seeing the same picture at the top lane. And again, these plays for bosses have actually started to become a little bit more dangerous, because since we've seen the 10% movement speed increase, there's obviously a chance that if you are slower than your opponent on the boss and you start a little bit later, there could be a rotation towards the lane and an attempt to take you down. So that's exactly what we might see in some scenarios. In this one it doesn't play a role, but keep that in mind that the distance between the 2 lanes has obviously now been decreased thanks to the movement speed increase that Blizzard dropped a patch ago, and that makes it sometimes very dangerous to go for this boss versus boss play if you have a lot less push power against the mercenaries than your opponent. This one at the bot lane, nearly going down. Chris is actually helping out quite immensely with that. Needs to be a bit careful that he doesn't overstay his welcome, though. It's nearly cut off by Stark, but not quite. 17 stacks right now for him. Tries to get a little bit more in. Nice stun. Stalk low, but gets away. There come the Boars on the other hand. The cleanse is there. The Sanctification too. Maybe a little bit of an overkill. I think the Nature's Cure alone was already more than enough. So now they don't have the Sanctification any longer. And considering how many heroic abilities are still up for Washed Up, they might have to give this one up now. And that's exactly what they're doing. Banana Age takes it. Slight lead now for Washed Up with this top side pressure as the boss is starting to move in and doesn't even get the fort. But the minions are going to seal the deal here. Unless Falstad is able to fly up quickly. And so far doesn't really look like it. So yeah, missing out on some experience, but obviously can still take the wave later on. 23 stacks and 18 for Jimmy as they take another camp. And we've seen a single kill in this game. Just the one against Malfurion at the bottom of the map as they caught him. When it comes to damage numbers, we're actually seeing Chris on 16,000. Now again, his Vala, once that level 4 is completed, will have immense damage, not only against bosses when they try to burn them down, but also in these team fights. So that's what they're going to try and do. With that now taken, what else do we have? Top side, that's where we still see everybody dealing with the Siege Giants, pushing the waves out, getting the experience. And we're slowly and steadily starting to come to curse territory, because one more tribute for Washed Up and they're going to curse Team Russia. And the Russians, with Falstad, still fighting at the bot lane against Dehaka, currently attempting to escort their Siege Giants and get the value against the structures again. And they can't really allow for this one to be taken. They need Dehaka a little bit quicker this time. The interrupt with the Reyna's Raiders is definitely straight, but the curse is taken. They just give the tribute up. Level 13, and all of a sudden the red team is cursed. That's a real problem for them right now. I mean, top lane fort is definitely down. There's no question about that. Now, the only question that I have is, are they rotating another hero, maybe even to the top side, to make sure that they're gaining the minion wave experience, because that usually gets lost when you curse the opponent. Falstad, for that reason, is already active at the bot lane. Mena is able to dodge the drag here easily. Top side is pressuring heavily, and as the mid lane gets attacked, they need to be careful that the top lane doesn't lose the entire wall at the keep. 13 gives a talent advantage over to Washed Up as well. The quest is completed for Vala, and Reyna is attempting to save that wall as much as he can here, but the pressure is on. And down at the bottom of the map, we have now another minion wave about to be taken down. The fort in the middle of the map is now eliminated, and at the top side, the wall is pretty much gone as well. Masquerade just doesn't have the wave clear that allows him to quickly enough deal with the situation, especially since the bot lane is now getting attacked as well. The curse is nearly over, but just look at the damage they were able to put onto the keep. It's down to nearly half HP already. So great setup by them. Dehaka still at the top, starting to burrow in, coming in from behind. Can they stop him? Isolation hits Vala, and the immediate Mighty Gust. They try to go for Stalk, Sanctification used by Tyrael, but they're moving away still. Nick is a bit isolated though, and also a little bit dead. Dehaka is still looking for another Drag Connect, but there's too many stuns there, especially since Misha is attempting to chip in now with this as well. And obviously you have to be a bit careful, since Chris on the retreat is just always weaving another attack in and dropping another arrow. But still, they get the keep. Not eliminated, but burned down pretty quickly. All of the forts are now gone, so there's a lot of ground lost on the map for Team Russia. They're trying to get things together again. But bosses? When are bosses back up? 40 seconds. Have at least one camp that they could try and steal away. The problem is that ETC is already back. I don't think they can make that play right now. I really don't think they should fight here. ETC is back up, guys. This is a 5 versus 5 in a close quarter engage without Sanctification. They don't have Sanct. They have the Holy Ground, that's true, but still, Misha is on the point. EDC with the Mosh Pit attempt gets interrupted, but the damage is still there. They take the camp, they actually steal it. But can they keep their heroes alive? I don't think so. Li Ming is dead. Dehaka is also going to die. The only question is, can they get more than that? They're making the play for Masquerade now. Has the penetrating round. Stalk is still there. Tries to slow them down and is able to do so. But it's a camp for 2 heroes. Not quite sure if I would call Worth there. And that worries me more than anything else, because now there's a chance for a double boss play from Washed Up. Again, they have Monster Hunter, they have the completed Puncturing Arrow, and with Vala's help with the repeating arrow, they can burn this down super quickly, and there's no chance with the 3 heroes that the top side is taken. They already confirmed it. And now they have 16! They can go for the double boss play if they wanted to. They don't even want to. They want to make sure that the keep at the bottom lane falls first, but they always can come back and try and take that down. Another camp taken, Holy Ground value here, so that's at least a great one that we have for Stalk. But there's a talent advantage, there's a boss on the way. I'm gonna be honest here. this might be game. They might seriously be able to take the game now. With the talent advantage that they have, if they get a kill, this could be lights out. Reyna is on 36 and 31 stacks for his level 1 and level 4 talent, so he's nowhere near what he needs to have a massive damage output right now. He needs the late game. We're only 12 minutes in. And Washed Up is playing it safe. Yeah, they are down in this best of 3 series. They can't risk too much here, and they don't want to. They can go for the second boss up at the top, but they only took the keep at the bot lane. And that boss, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Team Russia to try and make a play for this one. But that's obviously a freebie on the Tribute, and now it should also be a boss fight. But Sanctification is back up, and keep that Holy Ground in mind. With oh, if he dies, that's a different issue. Oh my god, Stalk goes down. Yep, and that's a boss. That's a freebie now. With Holy Ground and Sanctification, there was a good chance that Washed Up would have simply said, you know what, this isn't worth it. If he steals it away, we are kind of screwing ourselves here. But now they kill Stalk. Insane CC stun that we just saw from them. And that is the perfect play. Now they can go for the boss. They take this one easily. They also steal the camp down here away. So it's a double camp play from them. And they can move through the top lane where there's already a Siege Giant camp. And they can take another keep. That's a free keep. I mean, it might even be, again, a push for game, but it's a free keep for sure. Mena's already going straight up to the fountain. 17 against 16, now 18 against 16. It's insane. That was perfect. That was a dream for Washed Up. And now the defense for Team Russia. They're trying to set everything up they can. They have Tyrael back, so that helps. But they won't be able to save the keep. There's no way. And they obviously don't have a mule. That was a good slide, but we had a nice reaction also from Malfurion, who destroyed the play. Stalk gets attacked again. Needs to be a bit careful. Stuns are hitting, and he drops the Sanctification, is forced into it. Boss is already on the core, and actually this boss is going to go through the shield. This boss will go through the shield if they don't defend. So they're going to actually suffer a couple of damage points on the core. It's not going to drop it. Oh, is it? It's actually a lot. Yeah. 80 maybe. 80%. That's what we're gonna see roughly. Actually, more than that even. Oh, it's actually spot on. Nice. But now there's still a tribute spawning. Another camp that they can take, and 2 lanes are now pushing with catapults. So Washed Up playing it safe and sound here the entire time. One of the things that they could now definitely do is just play this out a little bit slow, wait for level 20, and then try to make the play. The damage output is in the hands of Reyna and Vala. The two of them are sitting at 37,000 damage each. When it comes to the wave clear though, they are got that, oh my god! 130,000 for Falstad, and just look at these plays right now. They're going for Tobos immediately, and Li Ming is going to die. I mean, it's going to maybe take a little bit of time, but eventually Tobos is going to fall. There it is. Mena gets the kill. There's another one against Malfurion, and that is going to be game. Washed Up forces game number 3. Team Russia having trouble in this game. Only a single kill, and that was an isolated kill against Malfurion at the bottom of the map. With 8 kills under their belt, Washed Up making the play straight for the core now, and that is going to force the 3rd game of the series. Moshpit comes through too as they're going for Stalk. They try to get another one here. Main is not wasting any time. He says, like, I don't really care about the hero. I just want to make sure that we are forcing the 3rd game out of this. And they do. GG, the series tied as Washed Up takes the victory on Cursed Hollow. Game 3. Final map, Battlefield of Eternity. We are going deep, boys. The final map, and Washed Up obviously trying to make the 2nd win in a row happen against Team Russia. But damn, last game might not have been quite the best map for Team Russia, but I gotta admit that first map still is pretty fresh in my head. So it was tough for Washed Up, and they got taken apart in the late game pretty effectively. Team Russia's gonna try and do the same thing. Whoever wins this one will advance to the loser bracket final to face off against, exactly, Team Cheese. Ain't easy being cheesy, but now we're having Chen banned out, and I feel like that was a little bit of a linchpin ban. Game 1 they didn't ban him, and their backline got wrecked by Chen. It was honestly that Chen Genji composition that just destroyed the backline healer plus in addition to that Forster, who had huge problems, and even Hanzo. All the squishies just couldn't stand that much aggression and headed their way. And since they banned Chen, they've definitely done a little bit better and started to find their rhythm here. So let's see if Washed Up can pull it off. Team Russia obviously is trying to win this one. And Battlefield of Eternity has been the map choice of Washed Up. So Team Russia decided to go into the first pick position. And let's see what they're going to start with. Hanzo. Immediately Hanzo pick here. No hesitation whatsoever. Focusing on the objective right now. I want to still see what happens around Greymane. And we didn't see Hammer banned out. That's actually pretty important because Washed Up is the one team that loves to play Hammer on Volskaya Foundry, on Battlefield of Eternity, and a lot of the teams have started to ban Hammer every single time against them. But it's again a Vala play. Chris has played great Vala in the last game, and obviously they're gonna try and make the same play here again now with him. There is still always a chance that Hammer eventually makes an appearance, but obviously the meta has also slightly changed since Washed Up used that particular style every single time they could put it into play. So now, with Vala and Malfurion as the setup, it's already a great chance to also go into double support again if they want. And talking about that, there's Zarya together with Garrosh. Okay, so again, the speed barrier on level 4 and Garrosh running in and trying to just flip the target into the backline. Battlefield is a good map for that. That's where Granite Gaming started all of this stuff. Now we're having also, of course, the third ban, and it's Ural that gets taken away. Can the Russians pull it off? Well, the French Russians, the Russian Team Russia. There's the Jojo ban, so there's also quite a decent amount of frontliners eliminated. I mean, when we're talking about Nick, still, Nick has been playing every single hero pretty well that he got confronted with. He could still go into a Diablo. There's Muradin still available. If they wanted, they could play in a Nubarak style with him as well. It's not like there is a shortage of frontliners that is viable these days. But it depends a little bit on what particular playstyle you're going to try and use. Oh, ho, 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 Stitches! What? Stitches and Rexa together with this. Okay, things are becoming interesting all of a sudden. Stitches hook into Malfurion root, and we have a Rexa at the top. And we could see another melee here even. Double support with this. Maybe a Tacita. Could see another melee character too. What are we having from Team Russia? They are currently looking at, well, Tyrande as the support. Imperius for triple frontline. That's a great skin for him, by the way. And with that, we're having a lot of stuns, a lot of CC. Final map in the series. Final map in the best of 3. The loser's out. And what's going to be the setup? Is Mane going to swap over the main tank over? I mean, Mane is not going to play Stitches here, you see, though. But he might have to play a melee hero. So it could actually be the case if they decide to go into a triple frontline. Or they swap it out. Washed Up, last pick, last map, last pick. There's the Tacita pick. Mane is going to pick Tacita. And we're going to go straight into the final map of this best of 3 series, ladies and gentlemen. The lower bracket, the loser bracket of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Let's jump in. Washed Up against Team Russia. Game number 3, and Mane is on Stitches. They leave Nick on Tacita, and Mane plays Stitches right now. This is going to be a fun one. It's the last and final map in this series, and the loser is going to drop out of the tournament. Washed Up on the left with Hazops on Rexa, Nick on Tacita, Mane with a patchwork creation on Stitches. We have Chris currently heading into the hot pursuit with Vala, Banana H on Malfurion, and for Team Russia, X-Ray on Tyrande, Masquerade on Zarya, Dequaz on Imperius, Stalk on Garrosh, and Tobos on Hanzo. Not gonna lie, it's a terrifying setup that we're seeing from Team Russia here. Really good frontline that they have. The combo with Zarya and Garrosh, ever since especially Granite Gaming started to use it, is of course notorious. It's really strong once that you have the level 4 barrier, so that you have the added speed on Stalk's Garrosh, that he can move in and throw anybody over. Tacita with his shield can definitely help the target, whoever is getting hit here. But outside of that, the entire setup is strong. Great frontline, good damage from Zarya, went actually into the particle grenade here with the Demolitions Expert. And I'm really interested to see how Washed Up is going to deal with this. They have Mena and Banana H working together, trying of course to get the hook into the root here. And that's definitely of course a lot of damage for them. I mean, there's a bit of a different setup from Chris now as he goes into the Hot Pursuit on level 1. He could either go into the hybrid arrow build, or he could instead just go into the traditional multi-shot setup that we oftentimes see with that. Don't really think that we're going to have an auto-attack focus from him here. Normally that's not the case on the high level, and I wouldn't expect it in this game either. But let's see how crazy they're gonna get with this. Oh my god, the hook into the backline, X-ray! Yeah, but it still seems like they're going to get this one. Mena, a little bit low, and is able to move out. Does he get the shield? No, but he gets the heal. The problem, of course, for them is that Team Russia gets the camp. Nick also a bit low as he moves out from this one. Taps the fountain and stays alive for now. Always needs to be careful here, since the hit point pool of Tacita is obviously not really all that great. Good hook, but can they talk Stalk down? No, and Mene dies instead. It's a tough time for them, seriously. That's a good start for Team Russia as they are moving through the bot lane right now. They have the added camp that helps them with the pressure that they're trying to put onto their opponent. The stacks are also coming in for Zarya on her level 1, which is another big advantage. Top side, having at least Hazu pushing this back, and Quasar is starting to struggle a little bit with Imperius against it. As long as Rexa himself keeps himself safe there, it's not going to be a big problem. But yeah, so they're taking the camp out. The game obviously is going to go to a bit of a later stage, and that's especially when Nick might be able to complete his level 1 talent, and then he can soften the targets up pretty easily. But this is now the big problem. Speed barrier together with Garrosh and the pressure that he can cause in a team fight. Now we're seeing also the camps taken on for both of the teams. Level 4 abilities come in, and that gives us the punishment plus also playtime. Stitch just gets a little bit of playtime here and focuses on the smash on level 7. Strangling Vine's taken, and we have the extra armor through Tacita right now. Alright. So, with that, we're now having topside. Still the camp about to be defeated, or at least he's trying to take it down. Hazops, that is. Has on level 1 taken the Bird of Prey, so gets the extra damage in against the minions, which makes him on the solo lane even better. Another good hook, and the damage against Zarya. But so far, can they get the kill? Oh, yes, maybe! Unbelievable. Masquerade gets out. That is insane. That was literally one auto attack shy of securing the kill there. But they at least pushed them back, and that gives them an advantage at the objective as they're moving in now with the rest of the team. Stork is obviously looking for the throw, finds it against Mena. Where's Tacita when you need it? Right there. Yeah, the attack against Stitches, but he survives through all of that. And they're starting to get the value right now. As Papergard, aka Chris, is moving in to zone out Imperius at the side, but rotates them towards the objective again. I gotta admit that the patchwork creation that we're currently having here is obviously pretty nice with Malfurion and the heal over time. Halftime show has already been won. He needs some kills. There's another throw, and that's a problem. Oh, the helping hand! Mene with a sick play. That was a fantastic throw by Garrosh, and if you go and get Banana H here, you might get the kill. And they're actually trying for a second setup against him, and the stuns just keep coming, and this time he's dead for good. But Mene's save against him in the first place was pretty incredible. Now he is in trouble, though, and might still be saved. Is there another shield available? Oh, Stalk! Looks for another throw, but can't get it committed there. Good move out there. As we're having the dimensional shift being used. Mane is still a little bit low as they're trying to defend here. But damn, this game is already getting crazy. And we have 2 kills against 0 for Team Russia. 2 kills against 0, and keep in mind, this is game 3. This is the final map in this series. This is it. Do or die. Who's taking the victory here? That's the big question. Mane is already starting to move in again. Stalk is sitting all the way up at the top. Another approach, trying to get the throw in. There's the stun, and there's the flip. Gets the shield and moves out. Or does he? The stun connects, and Mane dies. Stitches is dead. 3 kills against 0. Level 7 in their hands, but the halftime show nearly won by the blue team. Washed up, they drop the Immortal, and they take it. Yeah, right now that strategy is still working out, but as the game continues and the death timers increase, you can't sacrifice heroes like they currently do here in order to get the objective, or you won't have a good time pushing with it. So now they need level 7, they will get it up to the top. Also, Nick gets the first quest reward, so at this point he has already the increased size of the Psystorm, but he also needs that extra damage, so he's working on the 1000. 7 versus 7, which gives us, amongst other things, Arsenal, so even more wave clear for them. Stitches is back to business, and they can try and burn through the wall here. But obviously, Washed Up needs some kills. And they will try and get them, especially after level 10. Another hook is already thrown out, but this time doesn't connect with anything. The roots were on the ground. Banana H, therefore, having the trust. And again, Garrosh trying to get the flip against Malfurion. Banana H needs to be super careful. You could see the pings on Malfurion the entire time there as he was trying to make the move. The fort is eliminated. That was a big one. Huh? Just look at Stalk. Every single time Zarya comes in with the speed barrier, everyone on the side of Washed Up is running. All of the squishies are just, get the hell out of here! Everybody's just like, please not me, please not me, please not me. And especially Malfurion is running faster than Malfurion ever ran. And believe me, that old geezer is usually pretty slow on his feet, pretty much on Deckard Cain level. I mean, another one of these guys that need a cane to walk the entire time. So has his little staff here, and it's just like, oh, 10,000 years. Oh. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you have an absolute just turbo Garrosh rushing onto you, going full Ferrari on you. But only one kill against Malfurion so far. So bottom of the map, still that 1 versus 1 setup. We have pretty much been ignoring it for most of the time. They quasi against Hazu Ops' Rexa, but it is definitely a lineup where Hazu is doing pretty well. Rexa is insane on the solo lane when there's no rotation against that. So with this, we're having also a setup where they're attempting to trap him even. So far not successful, but they're going for the camp now. And we have level 10 abilities coming up next, and this is where the game becomes really interesting. Because obviously, there's the scout. Obviously, we have a situation where Chris can also get an additional stun if they really want it. Nick will become interesting as well. Is he going for the force wall, or are we instead going to see him with the Archon to add a bit additional damage in team fights onto that? Force wall might be a little bit weird. I mean, if you want to keep a couple of targets from escaping, that's a great move. Maybe zone them out, especially the front line. You can split them up. It's not too bad, actually. But the camps are now taken, and there's level 10 abilities for both of them. Arrow, obviously, for Hanzo, Putrid Bile, and they go for the Force Wall. And also the stun with the Rain of Vengeance. So the setup is definitely there. And now it's an attempt to burn the halftime show as quickly as they can. I mean, both of the teams currently trying to do the exact same thing here. And it seems to be a little bit quicker already for Washed Up. So they seem to be getting the slight lead in this. And it's not even all that close. I really expected it to be a little bit close. Actually, now that I look at it, there was a bit of a burst towards the end from Team Russia that nearly made it an even one. But it is still a small victory for Washed Up. And they're both in a defensive position right now, as they're also attempting to take these shaman camps down so that the forts are not falling. But obviously, now there's the question, how much can you poke? I mean, there's also Zarya to consider. She has by now completed the level 1 quest, obviously, and has a synergy with the level 7. So continuous poke with the grenade is starting to burn this one down, and you can tell that Washed Up is really happy about this. Yeah, that's really effective at this point for Team Russia. And they might be able to win it just because of that. Big arrow coming through, but no consequence for it. Putrid Bile being used. Here come the boars. They got unleashed already. Vayne is looking for the setup. Pebiga got saved, so Chris is still alive on his Vala. Yeah, but the poke is still there. Nick, not even close to the 1000 stack, so you can't rely on the extra damage, and the particle grenades are just coming, one after another. And that Immortal is slowly gonna fall if that trade continues. It's not one that you can easily win. Nick zoning them out again, using those choke points for the force wall, but there's the throw, and they try to get at least Misha, and they do. Misha down for now, can't rely on that. Good ult from Chris, everybody low actually, look at that. Stalk, Tyrande, we have even Imperious. All of them are incredibly low and they're trying to go for the kills. Team Russia is on the retreat. They're running away from this one. And that opens up the Immortal, and that's one that Washed Up could maybe even take. Another throw against Misha, but that's just not the target that you want here. They get the damage in against the Immortal. They're on the point again. Misha goes down another time, but these are the trades that are absolutely advantageous for Washed Up. Team Russia on the retreat, and they lose Immortal number 2, which will now move down to the bottom of the map. Not a single kill for Washed Up. Not one. They didn't get a single kill yet, but they've won 2 Immortals now. So with that, we have an opportunity to not only drop the second fort here, but for Washed Up to also take a lead in experience simply through a passive experience gain. And you look over to Nick, and he is actually starting to get a little bit closer to the 1,000 stacks. Would probably hope for the team to just wait before they eliminate these minion waves so he can stack a little bit more aggressively. But they have a good push going on. I don't think that the keep is gonna fall, but opening up the wall alone would already be great. Nice force wall there, but that throw against Mane was fantastic! And Mane is in trouble and should actually die here. Oh my god, the tactical pause! 3-2-3 moment as Hazops pauses the game. Washed Up is about to lose Stitches on the other hand. X-Ray has already committed to the ult on Tyrande, and obviously they have to retreat here. There is just no way that they can save Mane. He's already taunted, as you can see here, as we just saw Stalk activating his ultimate, and Stitches is gonna die 100%. The only thing that could maybe keep them in play if they get an immediate counter kill, and that's just not happening. They need to retreat right now, and they're gonna be chased. They're gonna be chased 100%. Misha is trying to prevent it successfully at that. Here come the boars. That actually helps. But with Stitches falling, they had to retreat, and the keep at the bottom of the map is still in play. More damage on it than I expected, but damn. 4 kills against 0 now, and that was a great setup. I mean, really, it's just Garrosh bursting through that gate with the speed barrier, getting the flip over against Stitches, and then we have the kill. 4 kills against 0. And let's take a look at the damage output too. I mean, again, we didn't have too many drawn-out fights yet, but it's 27,000 for Vala, with 33k already for Hanzo. And yeah, bottom of the map. It's interesting to see that Stalk is actually one holding the experience here. We're having a camp taken top side and one at the bottom of the map. With this, we're now also seeing Gloom picked on level 13, so that definitely helps. Gloom is in. Also, Digestive Juices. Bit of a cooldown reduction that we're now seeing from Stitches. So far, so good. Camps are going to become important once the objective gets announced again. Team Russia is losing a lot of ground, but they're winning the fights. It's this weird interplay, because the problem, as I said before, is as the game continues, those death timers are increasing, and as the death timers increase, every single kill against you is giving your opponent a bigger advantage on the macro level and on the map itself. So in the early game, not really a big problem. But if Washed Up still has that same style going on as we are looking at 15, 16, 17 minutes into the game, then it becomes a really big issue whenever you lose a hero, because you will play a 4 versus 5 for a long, long time. Now the Immortals are spawning again, and the advantage that we're seeing for Washed Up is obviously that they are so far doing exceptionally well on the Immortal. They win objective after objective, and those obviously scale into the late game too. But now we have still 14 versus 14. And another objective would very likely mean keep if Washed Up takes it. And here comes the attack. Hook gets actually dropped. Nicely done. Unstoppable Masquerade, and that saves him. That was well done by Tyrande, cleansing that out. Once again, we're having the attack here already. This gets escorted to the bot lane. This is going to drop the keep, guys. This is going to drop the keep. Team Russia has to send someone back. They need to. Oh, the hook, and nearly a kill. The arrow missing completely. And now the bottom keep is in trouble. And Team Russia needs to send someone back soon, or they are going to lose it. Tobis is already on the move, and as soon as someone appears at the bottom of the map, obviously Washed Up is going to go for the Immortal and gets a free halftime show out of this. But yeah, they need to save it, and they need to save it quickly. The keep is taking too much damage. They have 2 heroes committing to it right now, and that opens up the attack against the opponent's Immortal that they're seeing from Washed Up at this point. But it's still a little bit of a race here. Still a bit of a race, and honestly, it's a dead even one. That's actually amazing. I mean, we have an advantage for Washed Up, don't get me wrong, but considering that 2 heroes were sent back to deal with the wave at the bottom of the map, that is way closer than I expected it to be. Good hook. But again, where are the kills? There's the flip against Hazops. Rek'Sai is able to get out. Another force wall on the ground. Good job by Nick, zoning them out here completely. And the attempt to take down Imperius. And it's successful. Imperius down. They try and go for Stalk, and that might be kill number 2. First kill in the game for Washed Up. Can they get kill number 2? Yes, they can. 2 kills, and are they going to chase? Doesn't really seem like they do. Or do they? There's another hook potentially available for Maynard during that fight. They're actually zoning out the bot lane. They're going to get more, aren't they? They're definitely going to get Tyrande, 100%. That force wall was great and slowed them down even more. And X-Ray is going to fall. There's the stun from Misha. Tyrande is dead. And now Vala is already going straight in for the Immortal, making sure that they're winning this easy peasy, but they are not really satisfied with that alone. They want to get more. They want to get the keep at the bottom of the map in addition to what the objective can accomplish at the top side, and they should be able to pull that off. Psionic Echo already grabbed. Guys, this is insanely good for Team Washed Up. 16 against 15. They have the talent advantage. They can poke against the keep, which is exactly what they do. And just another storm from Nick would seal the deal here. And the longer they keep the opponent at the bottom of the map, the easier the Immortal at the top side has it when it comes to attacking the keep there as well. And obviously with that big of a shield, it should be able to take that keep down without a problem whatsoever. But look at this. One storm is all that's needed. Uh-oh. There's the arrow against Stitches, but Stitches is not the target you want to focus on in this case. Yeah, again, Storm with a throw against Misha. Nice damage from Vala. Can they get the kill against Garrosh? Yes, they take him down. Garrosh is down, top lane keep, gets nearly dropped. Nice silence. Fantastic ult again from Malfurion, and that's the second target down. This one is going to fall 100%. They're getting the kill against Zarya. This might even be the end of it. Keep at the bot lane eliminated. The one at the top has also fallen, and this looks like it's going to be the end of this. Washed Up with a 2-1 victory against Team Russia in the lower bracket of the HeroesHype Premier Series playoffs. Great comeback by them. The Team Russia able to get the 1-0 lead, but then 2 wins in a row for Washed Up as they move on for the rematch into the lower bracket final against Team Cheese.